Okay, so the Chameleon color tops are just an awesome addition to your Chameleon pens. Now, as you know, the Chameleon pen allows you to adjust the color tone of the ink, so you can go up and down the tonal scale of your color of your pen using the colorless blender. Now, with the Chameleon color tops, that mixing chamber actually contains color. So this allows us to do these amazing seamless color to color blends. And because the blending's actually happening in the chamber, the two colors where the nibs are meeting, the mixing chamber nib and the pen nib, it's like the pen actually does the blending for you. You're just sort of coloring that blend out, but the blend happened in the mixing chamber. It's really amazing to see. And we were at the Creativation show, which was in Phoenix, and we were at Creative World in Germany. And one of the questions we got asked, inevitably people would see what the pens could do, how the color tops work with the pens, and they were blown away. But, you know, when they saw how this beautiful transition went from the light green to the dark green, or pink into a darker pink, or gorgeous yellow into orange, but then they started to say, well, how many colors do you think you could put on top of that pen? How many colors do you think you could blend? Well, that sounded like a bit of a challenge. So we started playing around, and we wanted to show you some of our findings. Of course, you can push it to the limits if you want. We found some really cool combinations, and of course, with the 50 color tops and the 50 different Chameleon pen colors, there are 1,225 possible color blending combinations, and that doesn't include going up and down the tonal scale of the Chameleon pen. So you can really, it would be tough to cover them all, but we're trying. Now, one of the other questions we get asked a lot, and I'm going to do this in one go, is what happens when you put use a lighter pen and put a darker color on top? So let's address both those questions in one go. What we're going to do is we're going to color we're going to blend multiple color tones, and we're going to work by using a lighter base color. So I'm starting with NU0, which is sand, a beautiful color to be able to use for skin, and I overlay sand a lot on a lot of things too. So taking this, I'm going to take a PK5 fuchsia color top. And I'm going to take that, I'm going to pop that on here. Again, it works the same as the Chameleon pen. You want gravity to work with you, so just simply let the ink flow down. It actually has a natural wicking motion, so that'll feed into there. This is not gravity working with you, that's gravity working against you, of course. So mixing chamber on top, or the blending will stop. So that was about 15 seconds, maybe 10 to 15, because I was chatting away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put indigo. Oh yeah, that's a dark one. And I'm going to pop that right on top. So we put sand, and I'm only going to put that for a couple seconds, because the dark colors, my goodness, they do really take to the lighter colors quickly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the colorless blender. Okay, so we started with a sand colored pen, and then what we did was we fused it for 10, 12 seconds using the fuchsia. That's a pretty bright color. And then we only did a couple seconds with the BL7, the indigo, but you can see it looks like one of those little layered candy corns. But the idea is, the reason why you can do this is because of the way our nibs are designed. You couldn't do that with an ordinary marker pen. So look at, I'm going from that absence of color, and as I start to color, you can start to see that indigo that we put in there. Look at that indigo. Now it's going to start transitioning into the fuchsia as I start to color. And you start to see that fuchsia color coming out. Now as I'm coloring, it's going from that indigo. I'm going to keep going along to this next little pebble as I'm going. So I'm going from that indigo to the fuchsia. So now it's starting to come back to the ordinary color, which is the sand color of the pen. And again, the nibs are designed so that they evenly take in the color and they evenly release the color. And you just let the pen do the blending for you. And as I start to color, it starts to go back to that beautiful NU0, which is the sand. So we went from an absence of color into the indigo, into the fuchsia into the sand, and then we went back to the sand color. And you'll find that the nibs can take that because that's what they're designed for. Now, you may not be mixing these extreme mixes all the time, but isn't it kind of neat to see that you can do that if you want to? You probably most likely will be doing things that are a little bit more tone to tone or within the same color families. But experiment, and that's the whole thing with the color tops, with the Chameleon pens. There are so many possibilities. You're going to have a lot of fun with them. Cheers.